This morning, I'm really finding it hard to stay positive. And to tell you the truth, I nearly gave up. This is a waste of my time. I just don't have the mental strength to carry on. And then, Tuesday morning, about 9:30 a.m. This is about the same time that I was here last Tuesday morning. I only had about 10 minutes of taking photos at Forgan Cove at Lake Sampson Vale. My daughter rang, she had forgotten the school project, so went home, gave her a school project. Today, I'm back at the same place. I'm down at the bottom here. Like always, I'm using my Nikon Z6II, the 200-500, my Rode microphone, but silly me, if you can look here where my left hand is, there's no tripod head. I totally forgot to take my tripod heads. I don't have any tilt on the camera, so if I want to tilt the camera up, I've got to lean it back. Want to go down, I got to push it forwards. Let's make do with what we have today. We're halfway between Bullocky Rest and Forgan Cove. I can hear a lot of birds, but as you can see here, the problem is the trees are quite high, and sometimes the birds just don't want to play ball, so they stay on the top. Can I hear a lot of birds around? We're just going to stop and see what's around. Now, I'm the sort of person, I try to stay positive quite a lot of time, but this morning, I'm really finding it hard to stay positive. Things have just gone wrong. I forgot my tripod head. All the birds are at the top of the trees. It is so difficult to photograph. I've got an eastern rosella. So this is the first bird that I came across, a pale-headed rosella. I was using dynamic area AF and it just would not lock onto this bird because it was very much backlit. So I quickly changed over to single point AF and it locked onto the bird very quickly. And you can see how much I've cropped into these following photos. The bird came out very nice and the backlighting really helped because I pulled up the shadows quite a bit and it rendered the back quite blurry, quite bright, really set this bird apart. So I was very happy with this.
Oh, beautiful eastern rosella. Wow, look at that. Oh gee, I'm very lucky to get this one. Beautiful.
So the next bird I came across was a Lewin honey eater. It locked onto this bird very quickly. And this is how much I cropped the photo. The photos came out quite well. You can see the amount of crop that I've had to do in these photos. And this was the start of my whole experience on this day that nothing went right. You can see in this image here, the honey eater is nicely in focus, but the next shot I took, the honey eater is just slightly out of focus. And these next photos here, you can see all these photos are nicely focused. It's been very difficult. And to tell you the truth, I nearly gave up 5 minutes ago. I know I like being in nature. I just don't have the mental strength today to carry on. I start looking around the trees saying is there anything? What do I find? A koala. We live in koala habitat, but it's just so rare to see a koala. Can you see my camera there? That's where I was shooting. But I wasn't shooting that way. I was shooting like that, nearly straight up. But take a look at these photos and video of this koala. Now, I don't know whether it's male or female, but I am super happy.
Look at this, a beautiful koala. It's just sleeping away. So nice to see. I'm just having to shoot up. He's way up the top of the tree, he or she. Oh, I'm so happy with this. This is not easy. I'm hand holding this against a tree.
I want to show you where I am, and this is where the koala is. We go right up the top of the tree here, keep going, right up. Now he's right up. You can see there's a branch that's running across nearly the top of the screen. If you look carefully, he's just in there. Sometimes we just let our thoughts get in the way. Now, I don't know if I'm going to photograph any more birds this morning. Everything's up in the top of the tree, but I'm not going to give up. So let's keep walking. We're in winter at this time, so the male fairy wrens are not displaying their beautiful colours. All you can see is the blue tail. I got a very nice photo of this male. Part of the challenge of being a content creator on YouTube, especially a wildlife photographer, creating content on YouTube, is showing you the good and the bad. Because it's no use me showing you just the good times. You might get a false sense of hope saying, well, every time I go out, it's going to be great. It's not. Life isn't like that. Life sometimes, they serve you up lemons. It's not strawberries and cream all the time. It's very difficult. And today, I'd have to admit, it would be one of my most difficult days that I've had. The light is harsh. It's quite high in the sky now, even for winter. So we'll just keep walking and just see what we can find. This is an Australian golden whistler. The camera locked onto this bird very well. Now, I wasn't focused on the head. I was just focusing on the body because it was jumping around a bit, and it just stood there for just a few seconds, and I got a couple of photos. Beautiful butcherbird here. I haven't had much luck taking videos today. Look at that. So nice. Butcherbirds are carnivorous. This blue and honey eater was just looking at me, wasn't moving on this perch, even though it was a bit dark. The camera this time locked onto this bird very well. So you can see, like, I'm just having on-off issues all day. So I stopped right at this spot here, and there was just so many small birds. I think there was tree creepers. I got a robin, another bird that I put down here. So I had a great 15 minutes here, but I want to show you how difficult it is photographing with the Z6II and the 200 to 500 f5.6 in this sort of light. These are the last set of photos that I took. It was very backlit and the birds were quite dark. So when I was trying to take photos of this eastern yellow robin, even at single point AF, I found it quite a struggle. When it finally stopped moving, I got a couple of very nice photos of this eastern yellow robin. You can see how much I've cropped into this photo, and the photo turned out very well. And he had just moved a little bit. Now he's just preening himself. Look at that, a little robin. Now this is my bad. I got lured in a false sense of security. Because the yellow robin had stopped moving, I brought down my shutter speed so that the ISO would come down. So I was shooting at 1,000th of a second. But when we're photographing very small birds, like this little scarlet honey eater, I should have upped the shutter speed as soon as I saw this little bird. And see how much I've had to crop in here to get a few photos. And this last one here, the head is just in focus, but you can see because of the slow shutter speed, the wings are all blurred out. Now I used a few different focusing modes. I used continuous high extended. So I went from like about 4.5 frames, 5 frames per second to about 8 frames per second in silent photography. Now because of the excitement of just seeing so many birds around after not seeing any bird for quite a while, I got caught up in the moment because I could see this little female white-throated tree creeper moving around. I should have upped the shutter speed to at least 1/1600th of a second. I'd left it at 1/1000th. This is how much I've cropped into the image. It is not as sharp as what I would have liked it to be. And the majority of the photos of the tree creeper were blurred, but I still got a few nice photos of this female white-throated tree creeper. I couldn't use dynamic AF. I had to use single point AF and also spot metering because of the light that was here. And it was still very difficult. I'm going to share some photos here. This is a whole series of frames. So I was shooting at around 8.5, 9 frames per second. And you can see the tree creeper is quite dark. And I was having a lot of problem focusing on it. And I also got quite a bit of rolling shutter in these images. See how difficult it was to keep focus on this little bird. Can you see how hard it is? Now I love my Nikon gear, but it's not really designed for very low light like this. But I was still very happy with the couple of photos that I got. We're just about at the end of the walking track here. Wasn't the best of days, but it was still good. So it's 12 o'clock. I've been going for 2.5 hours. I had to get over that mental block that it was very difficult. I'd forgotten some gear. But it's good showing you that sometimes photographing birds is hard, but you just can't give up. This morning, that was very hard for me. I nearly gave up, but I pushed on. And right at the end, I got some really good photos. Were they my best photos? of the day, yes. I'll still share them. I want to show people that it is hard sometimes. And this is where I find my Z6II and the 200 to 500 very difficult to use. And at times I had to touch the focusing ring to get it to lock on. As soon as it locked on, it stayed locked on, which was very good. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, stay safe, enjoy wildlife photography, even when the going gets hard. And I'll see you next time.